Unless you want to wait another COVID comes.
Hello guys, today we will talk about is it KLCC really oversupply? So beside me is Tony. So Tony, KLCC, a lot of people say oversupply, there's a lot of Airbnb crisis, and yet a lot of new projects keep launching, like mushrooming around KLCC.
Okay.
Is it still a smart investment?
To be honest, I got this question every day when I meet my clients or I meet my colleague. Actually, it could be true, it could be false as well. Actually, KLCC is not dying yet, but it's just transforming. Previously, we are focusing on the oil and gas industry. Currently, we are pivoting from a petroleum industry to tourism industry. So, it depends on what kind of investment you are investing, what kind of unit you are purchasing, because so many type of layouts. We have studio up to penthouse. Yeah.
So, Tony, let's start with a very big question. Is KLCC really oversupply?
Technically, I would say yes, but oversupply doesn't mean zero demand. You have to, I would say it's just like a misalign of the supply and demand only. Most of the vacant unit right now, those empty unit is not rented out one, are those big units like old days, 1,008 square feet up to 2,000 plus square feet. Those days, that kind of units, we are targeting on those aspects. We try to rent to those aspects. But today, after COVID, especially after COVID, now a lot of digital nomads, business traveler, short-term rental travelers, and then also tourists, they will prefer something not too big. Approximately like 300 to 500 square feet will be more than enough for them to stay in KLCC, because too big. They just come for short-term stay, not like old days. Those expect they have their family stay with us. Currently, if you realize, you go to study, you go to the market, you see nowadays those 300 to 500 square feet, those kind of suites, I would say suites, they are performing very well compared to those big layout, big units.
Some investors say every project in KLCC basically turn into an Airbnb. Isn't that very risky and also hard to sell in the future?
Actually, this is a sharp question. Okay. Yes, there are a lot of Airbnb projects in the market, especially in KL, but we have to see the overall what kind of operator in the market. So currently we are pivoting from random host, random operator to more structural operator. For example, like I would say, like a hotel operator today, not like Tom, Dick and Harry, someone can easily become your so-called Airbnb operator. They are more structural, and then I would say they are more professional, manage your unit, and they have their own brands. So speaking about, is it very hard to sell? Okay, let me ask you back these questions, Lin. If let's say your unit is really making the money, would you like to sell it?
I would say no, because since I got a rental every month, then I would not consider to sell it unless I really need the cash of the property.
Yes, probably you might want to sell in future to get out the cash. Yes, if you ask me you want to sell, I don't think it's an issue because of, let me tell you an example. Since right now every month you're getting passive income, meaning to say that your property is paid by someone else. You never come up with the money from your pockets. So the loan is paid by someone else. Let's say today you buy a property at, let's say 700,000. After 10 years, during these 10 years, somebody pay for your mortgage, pay for your loan, and then you still got extra cash flow. So after 10 years, let's just assume that you sell back this property at 700,000. And then with this kind of performance, you can just sell back to the investor or those property purchaser, they want to have a collection in KLCC. Do you think that's difficult for you to sell? Buy back the property?
Yeah, buyback will not be difficult but some investors have concern that maybe after a certain time, like maybe after 5 years, 10 years, the property become old. How do I get a good price even though I get back with the original price? True.
Yeah, this is a good question. So when the property after 5 years, 10 years, you're getting old. No doubt, every property have these phases, this issue but you have to see what are the property management, who are they, how they manage it. For example, let's say you know about Cora's Hotel. Yes, it's an already old hotel, more than 40 years. But recently they already sold to Maseng. But I would say that hotel is doing very well. You see, even it's 40 years old already, they're still maintaining very well. Why? The hotel operator really take care of it. So as long as your hotel operator or your building management, they really take care of the building, I don't think there's an issue for you to sell.
Okay. Okay, fair. And also, Tony, actually, recently we get to know that there is a new short-term rental guideline from the government. It's called the STRA guideline. So, with this guideline, come across, will Airbnb or short-term rental become more risky in KLCC area?
Actually, this I wouldn't say is a risky, but I would say this is an opportunity for us, especially for me as an investor. Okay, what I say so, the reason is like this. STRA, short-term rental accommodation, this guideline, it doesn't mean the government want to ban it, but they just want to formalize it. And then the government want to have a proper licensing, have a proper insurance and safety compliances like BOMBA, this kind of safety compliances. So I would say, if in the market currently, based in entire Malaysia, we have approximately 100,000 units doing Airbnb. And in KL itself, we have around 22,000 units. So when this guideline already proposed to the market, already come to the market, I would say it will cut down the supply. Why I say so? Because certain buildings, they are not fulfill the criteria. For example, you can see a lot residential condo, and people just take the unit and convert to Airbnb unit illegally. That's why this is government. This is the thing that government don't want. So if you ask me, once this guideline comes out, I think the market supply will be slashed another 50 to 60%. But of course, KLCC Bukit Bintang, I would say is a STRA friendly zone because why? We fulfill the commercial title, and then people know that buying this project, more than 70% of the, as long you're building the GMB or no matter what MC, as long more than 70% the votes agree to carry out Airbnb or short-term rental, then you are safe to do so. But obviously KLCC and Bukit Bintang, this is what the investor is doing. And then third thing, for this kind of project, short-term rental project, like for example in Bukit Bintang, the Axims one, the Branningons, actually they are commercial title, and then they also fulfill the guideline, like for example the fire and insurance compliances, and then they are not residential condo. So you are safe to do so. But of course in the market we still have a lot. You need to do your own survey, your own research on it. But I would say STRA is not a risk, but it's another it's an opportunity. This is what my personal point of view.
Okay. A lot of people say if you want to do this kind of short-term rental, they'll go to KL City Centre, which is particularly I would say KLCC or Bukit Bintang area. But can the market still sustain? Because so many units, you just mentioned like 10 plus thousand, 20 plus thousand. How can they sustain in the long run? Like so many, how can I outperform, the other property or other project?
Okay. To answer your questions, yes, there are a lot of units, but at the same time, KLCC tenants, their profile is evolving. How to say? Because previously it was most like expat, people come here for working, but now, like I mentioned, Malaysia is pivoting from petroleum industry to tourism as well as financial. Actually, TRX is another booster in in this hospitality industry because TRX is one of the biggest Islamic financial hub in Southeast Asia. And then I would say now today, our target, our so-called hotel tenant no longer just expat. We have tourists, we have business traveler, we have medical tourists, and also the short-term stay executive. What I say short-term stay executive is more like the local people, they travel from other states, come here for working purpose. And then I would say based on our track record, we studied the market track record, averagely in this Golden Triangle area, KLCC, Bukit Bintang, TRX or KL Tower, the average occupancy rate will be around 75 to 85%. So I don't think this is a risk but at the same time, we can look on the data If today you think that you don't want to do any kind of short-term rental, your unit also can be long-term rental. It's flexible, it's hybrid. Long-term rental, you can rent around 4 to 6 ringgit per square feet. If doing Airbnb is around 6% to 8% ROI in return. But when it comes to hotel suite, because hotel suite, it provides you those kind of centralized cleaning services, checking services, and also certainly they provide breakfast as well. So with this kind of extra services, definitely we can compete with Airbnb. It's the matter that what kind of project you want to invest, what kind of business model you want to participate in. You can participate in Airbnb or hotel business. Airbnb, of course, you have more control. You can manage your own unit or you just ask the party to manage for you. But when it comes to hotel, because they have the standard operation procedure, you cannot just simply change the procedure and then you have to follow the hotel operator's guideline. So of course less control, but I would say it's better because everything is standardized, and then people will feel more comfortable when staying with hotel. You got your own, you can do check-in, check-out anytime you want. So I would say if hotel suite, the potential ROI will be around 8 to 10%. Of course, the entry price also will be slightly higher because it's a hotel, the upfront cost.
Tony, just now we discussed for a few points already, right? It's now the right time to invest, like at this moment. With so many new launches, like is it really a good buy right now? Like I don't know which one I should choose. Maybe I choose A or B or C or D. Like, you know, too many choices at this point of time.
Okay, honestly, to answer your question, I say it's a yes. Yes, 100% yes. Why? Currently, this phase in 2025 is considered a sweet spot phase after the post-pandemic. Actually, our property price haven't, we just recovered from the post-pandemic and then haven't increased yet. And then currently our tourism keep increasing. And then a lot of low short-term rental demand keep increasing. But our property price still maintain. So you ask me, since the demand is increasing but the supply, the price still maintain, why not? At the same time, maybe you think that Malaysia is a bit soft, but why you just look on Malaysia? You can just compare the entire Southeast Asia. Honestly, as a Malaysian, I feel I'm blessed enough. I still able to invest in KLCC Center. The reason is our property price still considered cheap. What you see, just take for example, Thailand, their city center, the Sukhumvit area, easily cost you 4,000 to 700,000 ringgit per square foot already, in ringgit I would say. And then most of the local, they can't even buy their country projects. For example, Vietnam, you can see, crazy. Jakarta, Indonesia. But as a Malaysian, I still able to purchase. So if you ask me, what is the price for me, what is the so-called good price for me to dispose my property, I would say just follow the international market. Because we don't really have a good comparison. KLCC is considered the top tier, the first tier area in our country. Which part of first tier country we still can compare? We don't have, KLCC is top already. So we just compare with other countries in the same region.
Okay.
So I would say we still have the capital appreciation gap for you to get the money, for you to earn more income. And then nowadays, this is a very funny question. Very funny thing I would like to explain more. When you go eat chicken rice, also increased price already after post-pandemic. You go buy the milk tea, the price also increasing. But a lot of people think that why property price cannot increase one. But in fact, the cost of construction, the overhead cost, the land cost keep increasing. Why the property price will never increase? That's why now I would say it's the best time. Unless you want to wait another COVID comes.
Okay.
But we never know.
Hopefully it never happen again.
Of course. But even COVID comes, KLCC, this location, they stand strong. They drop. The big price drop, but they rebound faster, recover faster compared to outskirt area. If people tell me KLCC cannot invest, I don't think there's any other place in Malaysia we still can put our money for property investment.
How about, because just now you talk about being a Malaysian, buying a property in Malaysia. I also heard that you actually have quite a few of foreigner buyers. What are their thoughts on Malaysia market?
Actually, I would say they really look into Malaysia market. First thing first, let's say I don't say too far, just say Singaporean. A lot of Singaporean, they can't even buy their own national property. For example, they can buy the HDB, of course, no doubt. But when it comes to condo, the private one, not the government one, it's very difficult for them. So instead of buying property, Singaporean majority of them, they will just put their money into funds, mutual funds or whatever kind of funds. Property investment is for them is like rare chance, I would say.
Okay, so Tony, actually just now you mentioned about Malaysian being a Malaysian to buy a property in Malaysia. It's quite easy entry. How about foreigner? Because I also understand that you deal with quite a few of foreign buyers as well. Okay. What are their thoughts in Malaysian market, especially in KL area? Actually,
they're really eyeing on our property market because currently Malaysian ringgit still weak compared to their currency. I don't want to say too far like US or Middle East. Let's say Singapore. Singapore is 3.3 times better than our Malaysian currency. So when they buy anything property in Malaysia, it's like divide into 3. For example, if they want to buy the HDB, it's like 600,000 Sing dollar. When they convert to Malaysia, easily they can afford 1.8 million or even more. So if you ask me, a lot of Singaporeans, they don't have the chance to invest in property because due to the land scarcity, so a lot of them, they will shift to Malaysia. And then our Malaysia property is not just cheap, ringgit also cheap. So that's why it can attract a lot of people come to Malaysia for investment lah. So if you ask me, in future, who will be your target seller? I would say, here they are, those foreigners. Because you need to understand, that's a minimum threshold. When they want to invest in KL, minimum is 1 million and above. But today, what's the entry price? 700, 800?
So Tony, why I should choose hotel suite over a normal Airbnb unit? Since you say the entry price also higher for a hotel suite unit lah, but why should I choose that instead of a cheaper option?
Okay, maybe I will say it this way, like hotel suite is something like because they blend the ownership and the management perfectly. They are synchronized. So you own the property, but the hotels will run the property for you. That means no guest handling, you don't need to handle the guests, check-in, check-out, no need to handle the cleaning, everything. I would say totally hassle-free, no stress lah. And then you need to understand when you want to operate those Airbnb or hotel, you need to go through a lot of paperwork, like the booking from those hotel platform, payments, the operation, and then you need to find the supplier, like the cleaning supplier, food supplier, I would say. So why not you just give one of the portion to the operator and then you receive the major portion. For example, in the market, usually it will be like 30-70, 25-75, or even the highest one I heard is 20 and 80.
Okay.
So you will be getting the 80% and then just giving out another remaining 20%, then you can enjoy this property investment without any stress. Why not? That's why I would say investing in a hotel suite is even better than Airbnb lah. Of course, Airbnb, I won't say it's not good, but you have to handle everything by yourself. And then they don't have the SOP. So I would say hotel could easily attract people that is more willing to pay much higher for the services. In short, let's say I would say you will just own a room and then they will help you run the hotel. So this is like consider another upgraded version of Airbnb. Airbnb also same, but they provide you more like extra services. 80% of the hotel services, breakfast, check-in, check-out, housekeeping, like that.
So Airbnb will not be able to do that lah?
Airbnb, you can find a well-known operator to carry out, but you need to understand, when there's too much operator in a single building, price war might happen. But hotel is different. Hotel, they only have a single operator. They control everything. Everything is under the hotel control. Airbnb is you have party A, party B, party C, so many parties. It's very difficult.
It's hard to manage, to standardize everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So towards the end of our session today, between oversupply or opportunity, what are your thoughts?
I will say both. If let's say smart investor or senior investor, they see opportunity within oversupply. KLCC nowadays no longer like big. I mean, no longer a perfect spot for big families or families member they want to stay here anymore. It's more about compact already.
Okay.
People prefer something is manageable. I mean, it's managed by someone else, and then high rental profit, and then also we need to take a ride because currently Malaysia already become the most visited country in entire Southeast Asia. So we need to take a ride on this tourism growth as well as the transit convenience, since we are pivoting from petroleum to finance industry and some more tourism. I would say it's an opportunity within this oversupply. It's a matter how you want to pick the right project and the correct project.
Alright, well said, Tony. So thanks Tony for today for his sharing about KLCC, whether it's an oversupply or opportunity, right? So I hope you guys will get some idea of two. And if you think this is helpful, please subscribe and drop your question in the comment. And maybe he will do a next round of project comparison.